What's the deal with airplane food? Let's talk about it. As an American, when I think of airplane food, I'm thinking, oh, cheese and crackers, and maybe if you're lucky, you'll spend $10 on a tiny little sandwich. Let me tell you, for Europeans, it's a lot different. A couple years ago, after I graduated from college, I was luckily able to go to the motherland of Rome. Beautiful place. Italy, beautiful country. Had a phenomenal trip. Food was off the charts. My favorite food in general is already pasta and meatballs, but something about that homemade, fresh Italian spaghetti and meatballs. Oh my God. Ravioli. Oh, I'm just gonna ramble about pasta for 10 minutes. Let me zip the lips. But on my journey there and back, I realized the airplane food is a lot different for these other countries. So this was some video that I shot a couple years ago. I intended to make a video out of the clips we're about to see, but I just never got around to it. Let's just say this video sat on the back burner for a little bit. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's stop rambling. We want to see the food. We want to talk about the airplane food. That's why we're all here. Okay, we're gonna start off with a nice picture of me and my brother. Very nice. As you can tell, I've aged a bit. So first off, we get a glance at the plate here. Wow. I wasn't kidding when I said that this was different. I've seen nothing like this in the States. I don't go on airplanes a lot, but I've been on enough to know that something like this isn't common. I've been on flights before where they just didn't serve food. I don't care that much. I'm not that mad I'm gonna overpay for a bunch of trail mix or something. So as you can see, I had a couple drinks, a dessert, a salad, and then in that little tin is, I believe, a veggie lasagna. I even got a nice little roll and some crackers. My first move here was I tried what Grayson got. He got the beef stew or something, and it was like some stewed beef with some mashed potatoes and some string beans. It was pretty good. I was shocked. You kind of see my face is a little nervous at first, and then I'm like, oh, whoa, no, this is good. Then I go along to try the salad, which is basically just a piece of cold cut turkey on top of a few pieces of maybe arugula and some string beans. And I don't know why, but that was slapping at the time. I mean, it makes sense. I love turkey. Just like throw a bunch of vegetables on a piece of turkey. Why wouldn't that be good? You can tell Grayson's enjoying his meal. We're watching Blade Runner. It's going down. So let's crack open my meal. At first glance, Grayson's meal looked a little presentable if we got that little like snapshot of it. But whoa, this lasagna is a little scary. The lighting in this footage isn't the greatest. I was on an airplane at night, and usually people just sleep on international flights. Like an hour or so after this meal, I just crashed. And that's how you gotta do it. When you're on a 10+ hour flight, you don't wanna be awake for the whole thing. So we didn't wanna speak too loud or have any lights blasting or glaring because we're being courteous to people around us. Wow, what a novel idea. We didn't wanna mess with people trying to do their thing and sleep. I go in for that bite of lasagna, and damn, it was actually good. It was a veggie lasagna. It was basically just a normal lasagna, but without meat. They just put some spinach or something in it, and it was pretty good. You can't go wrong with just sheets of pasta and tomato sauce, some cheese, and vegetables. Tell me one thing wrong with all those ingredients I just said. You could have blended it up and I could have drank it and it would have tasted good. Now I'm giving a bite to Grayson.
No, it's great. It's like veggie lasagna.
And he approves too. It's a good lasagna. Does it compare to anything that I ate in Italy? No.
No, it's great.
We're looking at the airplane food here. This is some pretty good stuff. This is definitely way above what we get in America. The trail mix and deli sandwich is looking even worse now. I finish off my meal with eating my roll, eating some amazing saltine crackers. Those things slap every single time. Now we're gonna move on to dessert. And I had no idea what this thing was. It looked harmless. It was some type of whipped cream or vanilla mousse with some cocoa pebbles sprinkled on top or something. But when I had it, it was awful. It was something I was expecting to be like, oh, how could this be bad? But when I ate it, it was just kind of like soggy and flavorless. I didn't like it at all. Now we're gonna jump over to my flight coming home. And you can already tell it's a flight during the daytime because it's so much lighter in the cabin. And I'm watching Inherent Vice, another great movie. So weird, but so fascinating. I started off with the suspicious looking salad, which was like some quinoa and some other little vegetables and some olives. I'm not a big olive person, but hey, I'll try it. Actually, it's funny. The first thing I ate in Italy was a free sample they were handing out of tapenade. I hate olives. Why would I like something like that? Long story short, I hated it. But I was like, hey, when in Rome. I hated that salad. It was gross. My main dish here was a nice gnocchi. It had some melted cheese on top. It looks exactly like what you would expect. But again, I'm getting gnocchi on a plane. I didn't even think that was possible. I'm struggling to get a bite here, but I finally grabbed 2 gnocchis. And let me tell you, that slapped as well. That was great. Next, I have a little fruit cup over here. I'm gonna make a little fruit punch. And that was great as well. That tasted phenomenal. Next, I'm gonna check out this very suspicious looking roll. I don't get what type of shape it's supposed to be. When I'm looking back at it now, it looks... But as you'd expect, it's bread. It tasted awesome. I love bread. I love carbs. Bread and pasta may be like the greatest things in the world. So yeah, I was dipping up all that sauce with my little pieces of bread. It was awesome. And then we move on to dessert. Another kind of suspicious looking thing. I was sniffing it, I was checking it out. I was making sure it was like okay to eat because I didn't know what it was. It looked like some type of jelly or preserve on top of some type of cream, some type of yogurt or something. And it doesn't look great at all, especially when it mixes together. It looks like something they would use to look like brains in one of those like haunted houses they had during Halloween time in elementary school where you'd like stick your hands in those like boxes and they'd be like, oh, this is brains. And it's like pasta. You're feeling around, it's a bunch of wet grapes and they're like, it's eyeballs. They show you a jar of this stuff and it's like, this is a brain. See, I'm giving it an extra smell test because I'm like, what is this stuff? It takes me a second to process, but bam! Finally a great dessert to end the meal. So that pretty much wraps up all the airplane food I had going there and back. But now the answer to the question we've all been waiting for. What's the deal with airplane food? It sucks. Hey, he just went on this whole video saying it's awesome, blah, blah, blah. I had to go on an international flight to get something that good. If I was any sort of snob, I would have been like, that is all right. This was good, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I would eat these meals on a regular basis. But airplane food in general, it's always gonna be a step below a home-cooked meal. It's not gonna compare to that Italian cuisine straight from the streets of Rome. Overall, I think we've learned airplane food can be good. It's bad sometimes. Yes, sometimes it's awful. But look at these amazing meals I've had. Anyone who says that airplane food is bad, they just need to go to Italy. But seriously, if I'm on a flight that's any longer than 5 hours, get me a nice meal like this. Step it up, American airplane companies. And I know this is like the biggest criticism that can be leveled against these people right now. Oh, you should really fix the airplane food. Hey, maybe you should stop your planes from falling out of the sky. At least give me some Italian cuisine before I plummet to my death. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.